please help me welcome Kurt Schaefer.
Yay!
Nice. I'll hand that to you, and
Here
it's
we go.
sensitive, so be ready.
All right. Thanks. Jen Gergen. Thank you, Jen. Who doesn't like a little night ranger to start off the day, huh? Now, good morning, DSW. Okay, let's try it again. Good morning, DSW. All right, come on. We're in this tight little cozy spot, right? We're all friends in here. So you might be thinking, like, why did he have opening music from a song from 1982 that was cut on analog vinyl, right? For the digital sales conference, why did he do that? There's a very good reason, but I'm going to wait till the end to tell it to you. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, I know Jen was talking about the way that you guys can come in and leverage all of your smartphones and your fancy tablets and everything, but have you ever been to a talk where the speakers, they get up and they say, hey, I want everybody to turn off their phone? You ever been to like one of those talks? Okay, so before you freak out, this is not one of those talks. Because this is digital sales world, right? This is the world that we operate in now. So yes, absolutely, we want everybody to get out their digital device. In fact, how many people here are in sales? Okay, how many people are in sales? So you know salespeople, they like to have contests and they like to be at the top of the leaderboard, right? And they like to win stuff, right? Yes. Don't we? Yes, okay. Thank you. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to have a little contest going on here to reward people that are getting socially active. So here's the way, and we're actually going to give away an IoT device, an Internet of Things connected device. Okay, so here's the way it works. I want you can either tweet, you've got to use these two hashtags because that's how we're going to track it, right? So you either got to use or use both the Vengreso handle and the conference hashtag DSW 2018, right? Or you can go to LinkedIn, do the same thing, right? You can post your pictures or comments there. There you're just going to tag Vengreso or again use the same hashtag. And the winner, and we're going to track these all day long, okay? And at the end, remember Jen said at 4 o'clock there's going to be a workshop that my partner, Mario Martinez, is doing one of them. So we're going to tally it, and he's going to give away the prize then. So we're all in a contest now. Sound good? Everybody get it? All right. There we go. There he is. There's that guy, if you don't know him. That's what he looks like. He's probably out there dancing around somewhere. All right, so again, like we rely on these internet devices. Does anybody know people like this? No, I mean like really know people like that? Like, are you that person? Okay. Your husband maybe? All right. So the whole idea here is like we rely on these things, right? I mean, they're practically like a attached part of our arm right there. So I want to actually take a survey here in the room. I want to see just how many people have. How many devices you guys have? So, you guys have been sitting for a long time, like 11 minutes now, right? So what I want to do is everybody stand up. I want everybody to stand up. If you have an internet-connected device with you right now, I want you to stand up. If it could be a cell phone, it could be a tablet, it could be your laptop, it could be your watch. I'm running out of things, but okay. So if you just have one, go ahead and sit down. If you just have one with you right now, go ahead and sit down. Okay? About half the room. If you just have two or less with you, go ahead and sit down. All right, now we're seeing the real heavy connected people. Okay, so these people got at least three. If you have three or less, sit down. Okay, now this is some bright lights, but I'm seeing, who do we got back there? Is it Cameron? Who is it? Who's standing? What do we got? One? We got two people standing. Okay, tell us your name and how many you have.
Eric Rothstein, I have 4.
You have 4? What do you have?
I have a watch, a laptop, an iPad, and a phone.
Okay, you got 4. And
All records, I don't have 4. I have a work phone, a personal phone, a tablet, and a laptop.
Okay, so 4 devices there. So whenever I do this, so the record is 5, just so you know when I do this. So I had someone he had a personal phone, business phone, a tablet, iPad, and a watch. So we all got those devices. Let's give these two very connected people a big hand. Thank you. So it turns out the average is 3.64. So I think we were pretty much right around that if you saw kind of how people were sitting down in this group, right? So we know that, right? Go to any mall, go to any airport, right? Go out here in the lobby. We all know that's the fact. So what I'm going to be talking about here is how today's buyer is mobile, social, and video hungry. Now, if you wanted to win the prize, this would probably be a good little nugget to start with, right? It's very tight little comment. Today's buyer is mobile, social, and video, and we're going to talk about those. Now, I have to reveal something kind of personal to you. So a year ago, my wife and I bought a new house. Now, the house wasn't new. It was about 25 years old, new to us. We moved into this new house. And last year, we'd been married 30 years, and my wife said to me over dinner one time, she said, "Honey, it's time for an upgrade." And I was worried she meant husbands, but she was actually talking about our kitchen. So she wanted to renovate the kitchen in this house that we'd moved into. So we said, okay, fine, we got to go shopping for refrigerators. So we went out and we started looking, and again, you guys have probably known this, but there are some smart refrigerators out there now. These things are incredible. So I started to do some research for them, and I thought, wow, in a way, this is a lot like what's going on with salespeople, so I just wanted to share a couple of these things with you. So this one here is made by Samsung. You can see it's got this like giant iPad in one of the French doors right there. And obviously it connects to your phone. So let's talk about it in context of those three skills. Really, what are they, remember? Mobile, social, and video, right? So let's talk about the refrigerator, then we'll talk about salespeople. So refrigerators, mobile friendly. This works two ways. Number one is when you're there at the refrigerator and you're like, hey, we're running out of Grey Poupon or something like that, and you're at home, you can actually log it onto the shopping list of the refrigerator, and then when you get to the grocery, you're like, oh, wow, what do we need to buy? Then you can actually pull it up on your smartphone at the grocery, right? So that's where it starts at home and goes to grocery. But the other thing that's really cool about this is it has cameras inside the refrigerator. So if you didn't put it on your list and you're going through the grocery and you're thinking like, I wonder if I have any Italian parsley for the Parmesan I'm going to make, right? You can actually look inside your refrigerator and it'll tell you remotely. So definitely these smart refrigerators are very remote friendly. Now the next thing they are social. Now it might be a little hard to see there on that particular screen, but I'll tell you what's going on. On the left side, you can set up like avatars for all the people in your family, right? And they can pick whatever colors they want to be and different things like that. So they create this social community of your house on your refrigerator. And then you can post their calendars over on the right-hand side. It's showing the calendar. So you can post the calendars up there, know when Susie's got piano or Jimmy's got soccer practice. You'll know, if somebody's going to be out of town or whatever. And of course, you can also put photos on this. So when your kid comes back from kindergarten and they, give you something, yeah, you can just take a snapshot, upload it to the refrigerator, it'll stay there all the time, right? You don't have to worry about, do we have enough magnets? So it's pretty amazing. I mean, it's social. It's a social hub. They call it the family hub, is what they call this refrigerator. All right, last one. This one I couldn't believe. So the refrigerator does video now. It actually talks to your TV, and if you're out in the living room watching The Tick, right, and you're going to go walk in there to like fix yourself some bean dip or something like that, you don't have to miss 1 minute of the scintillating music because it's playing on your refrigerator. So, again, refrigerators are mobile. They are they're not mobile, but they're mobile friendly, they're social, and they do video. Okay. So I got intrigued by this whole topic, and I was like, well, what other like wacky IoT devices are there out there? Okay, so there's an IoT dog bed that also has a dog tracker on it, and it tracks like the activity. Is your dog in bed? Is it getting enough sleep? I mean, what's enough sleep for a dog? It's like 20 hours a day or something. So you can track all your dog's activities and habits and things like that. So that's one. Now, we're 1 day into February, so probably some of you had some New Year's resolutions about eating healthy or something. So how many of you bought an internet-connected fork? Come on. How many bought a fork for your New Year's resolution? You just plug this thing in. It tracks all your eating habits. You can plot out your graphs, the trend analysis, all the analytics. It's total craziness, but there it is. It's the smart fork. And then finally, I know this is a big problem for so many people. You're always wondering, how many eggs do I have? Maybe I couldn't splurge for the smart refrigerator, and I just want to isolate on knowing how many eggs I have and what's their expiration date. Yeah, it's a common problem facing modern society. So you might want to think about getting the egg minder, where it's an app that'll tell you, don't eat the egg, right? It's 3 months old. So those are some of the crazy things going on. And again, we're going to be giving away some of these things to the top tweeter and poster. Just remember, there's all the hashtags down there at the bottom. Okay, so now we're ready to convert to the real world. Kind of to borrow the phrase from Jeff Foxworthy, right? Are you smarter than a fifth grader? Except in this case, the question is, are you as digital as a refrigerator? As a seller, are you as digital as a refrigerator? Let's look at these things. First, mobile. Are you a mobile salesperson? All right, so here we go. Which of these phone functions have you done to communicate to a prospect or customer this year? Now, guys, this year is only 1 month old, so I'm talking 2018, basically in January or this morning, okay? Ready? Show of hands. How many people have emailed a customer in the last month using their smartphone? Okay, very good. How many people have texted a prospect or a customer? This one is interesting, a little bit newer, tends to be a little bit more personal, but a lot of people, about half the group here. Okay, how many have sent a video from their smartphone to a prospect or a customer this year? Wow, I'm actually impressed. You look around the room, it's like 25%. So that's pretty impressive. It is growing. Okay, that's about, is that it? That's right. You can also talk. I forgot you can talk on the phones, right? I had my millennial brain on for a minute, and I was like, oh, you can talk? Like, talk to people? Yeah, synchronously. It's amazing. So how many people have actually spoken on the telephone to a human being in the last month? Okay, fantastic. Many of you. I'm glad to see that feature is still working. All right, so that's the mobile side of it. Let's talk about social. Social is really about starting conversations, starting the sales cycle. Okay, so there's 2 ways to do it. There's kind of like old school sales outbound prospecting way, which is like network and introductions and everything. And then there's kind of like the new inbound marketing way, where each salesperson is posting content, becoming a subject matter expertise, attracting people to them by their valuable content. So both of those are lead generation techniques. So, for example, let's say that I wanted to connect to Pam here, that she was a target for me, an SVP of sales. Yeah, I have at least 3 ways to do it socially. This is kind of LinkedIn-centric, but I have at least 3 ways to do it, right? It's like the I's have it. There are 3 I's here. The I's have it. You can invite her, and obviously I could also maybe get an introduction, because you can see here she's my 2nd level on LinkedIn. That means we share a common connection. Maybe I could get an introduction to her. Or if I'm using the premium version of LinkedIn, I could send an in-mail. Maybe I haven't developed the relationship to invite her to join my network, but I just want to start a communication with her, right? And I don't know her email, so I might do it that way. So that's one way of doing social prospecting. The other way, which is the way I'm most excited about because it's the newest way for salespeople, again, is this inbound marketing. So here's an example. I'm going to show you the 3 stages of the types of content that a seller. Do we have any marketing people in the room? Who's in marketing? Okay, so we got a couple people marketing. So this is not marketing. I'm talking about the seller. There are 3 types of content a sellers should be using. The baseline is their own company's information. This is a telecom company called Flexential. They just changed their name. And so information that comes out from your company that they're posting on blogs and social media networks, absolutely salespeople should be sharing that. I call it parroting the company propaganda, right? That's table stakes. That's the baseline. The next thing every salesperson should do is they should be showcasing their own expertise by sharing industry content, right? It's not spoon-fed, custom-created, but in this case, it's an article from like CIO magazine, just talking about cloud ERP. So that's sort of the 2nd level of sophistication. The last level of sophistication, and this is one of my favorite posts. I just love this post that she did. So the last piece is when the person in the field creates original content. Now, it's probably tough to see everything that's going on around here, but basically, you got a woman in a skirt and heels and pearls laying a shoulder into a tackling dummy. And she's sort of talking, so her telecom company, the Denver Broncos, are one of their customers. And she's sort of like, hey, thanks Denver Broncos for letting us use your training facility to have our meeting. And you guys are a valued customer and all this kind of stuff. So it's very unique. It's attention-getting. It definitely shows her personality. She tied it back into the business, and she got a ton of exposure for this thing, right? I think this is the perfect type of thing. And again, you just can't create these sort of genuine, authentic, creative, on-the-spot things in a marketing meeting 6 months ahead of time. So that's kind of where you get when you get into the content side of it. Now, the last one that we're going to be talking about is the video piece of it. I think this is certainly the most emerging, most exciting part of what's happening in the sales realm here, and that's using video. In this case, we're talking about using it for one-to-one messaging. Now, you're seeing actually a couple things going on here. This is an example from one of our clients, the New York Jets, and they're using it to sell executive suites to NFL football games. And so you can see the guy in the back. He's actually got a green screen there, so he's got his cool background going on. He's got his branded logo there down at the bottom, and he's talking right to one of his prospects through this video that he sent him. But what you'll also notice is it's appearing on a landing page, and that landing page has a bunch of other content down there, right? It might have the proposal itself, it might have another video or customer testimonial and things like that. And when he sends that out to his customer, not only does the video really attract and have much higher open rates and click-through rates and things like that, but as the prospect often starts sending this around within their organization, then you get the metrics, the analytics, the tracking that shows, oh, here's all the other people in the organization that are clicking on this. Oh, wow, the CFO just clicked on it. That's probably a good sign if they're going to sign off on luxury suite for the Jets game, right? So a lot of intelligence is not just the sizzle of the video, but it's the back-end analytics that you can do that are really paying big dividends for a lot of different companies. All right, so that's kind of a quick run-through of how you can apply these things and how you can really, again, be smarter than a refrigerator or take these aspects of what the smart refrigerators are doing and apply them into the sales world. All right, so if you guys want to get more selling tips, again, the other thing that phone does, text great. So if you want to get a lot of digital selling tips, that's what we do at Vengreso. That's what we focus in. So you can go ahead and text your email to that number, and it'll just automatically say, hey, great, thanks so much. And right, you'll get a weekly update of kind of what's going on in the world of digital sales techniques. And again, the almost the second last slide that I have here is just a reminder. Again, if you want to qualify for the IoT device, now, so I'm showing it up there right now. Now, how many people are fans of the sales movie Glengarry Glen Ross? It's very dark, but I think it's the greatest sales movie. It makes you laugh, but it makes you cry a lot. It's kind of a dark David Mamet thing. But who remembers? So they had a sales contest there at the real estate office. Who remembers what first prize was? Cadillac. What's second prize? Steak knives. Okay, I don't have steak knives for you. I don't have smart steak knives to you. But I've got something that actually I think is cooler. It's a smart barbecue thermometer. So you plug this thing in, you go back into the air conditioning and watch the ball game, and it'll tell you when that filet mignon is ready. So that is your prized prize for the top tweeter and poster using these particular pieces of information. Okay, now I promised you guys I was going to explain the Night Ranger story, okay? So here's the explanation for the Night Ranger story. This is the LinkedIn profile of the lead guitarist for Night Ranger, a guy named Brad Gillis. And I actually became acquainted with Brad and connected with him because I was doing a social selling training session with one of my other co-partners, Vivica von Rosen, and we were kind of showing people examples of cool LinkedIn profiles. And she said, oh, pull up Brad Gillis. And I was like, who's Brad Gillis? She said, just pull him up. So we pull up this profile. Now, you got to admit, that is a pretty kick-ass LinkedIn profile, wouldn't you say? So it turns out, so Vivica coached him. Vivica did this LinkedIn profile makeover for him. Now, why is this all pertinent? So Night Ranger was big in the really early 80s, even early 80s. Kind of a rock and roll hair band for you guys that might not know. But they are still going strong. They still tour. They still do a lot of corporate events. And as you can see from his well-designed profile here, he does a lot of stuff for music and film. They were in all of the their songs were in all of the releases of Rock Band. That doesn't happen by magic. That happens by business. That happens by selling. So this guy is a digital seller. He absolutely gets it. He's got a killer LinkedIn profile. He works it. He knows the people he's targeting. He connects and establishes a relationship with them. And that band is still rocking 40 years later, and that's his business, right? So I'm sort of giving you guys the challenge here. If a 40-year-old rock and roll band can continue to grow their business using social techniques, right, then certainly I would hope that your 2018 sales force could do the same. And you're going to get a lot of great tips exactly how to do it. You're in the right place today. AAISP has put together a fantastic program that you're going to be seeing. So with that, I want to thank you guys. I look forward to giving away the meat thermometer, and I'm going to give it back to Jen Gergen. There she is.